Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming at you live and direct from Black Facts headquarters studio today. And if you can't see me yet, now you can. There you go. That's the plan for you to be able to see me every single time as I drop a brand new rhyme. We're here today at the Black Facts studio presenting another installment of Doc Ock at noon and 9. And today we're continuing on with our story, A Voice from Harpers Ferry, 1859, by the erudite Osborne P. Anderson, someone you may never heard of in Black history, but who is someone who was there and was able to write about excuse me, their experiences on the front line of Black history, because Black history is something that today we have to fight to maintain and to take into the future. But even in the past, many of the incidents had to do with us being in conflict with other people who thought differently about us, or about what we should do, or what we should be about, or how we should sound, or how we should look, or how we should talk, or how we should walk, or how we should even dress. And Osborne P. Anderson, he was on the front line of that struggle. So before we get all the way deep into it, let me remind you all that it's time to go ahead and give us a like. If you're watching on Facebook, give us a thumbs up. If you're looking at us on the tube, and then go ahead and spread the word far and wide. Don't allow what we do here to be hidden. You got to bring it to the fore, because we ain't trying to hide. We're just trying to ride every wave that comes right on through and make sure that Black history does not get overlooked, usurped, stolen, or strayed. So you can help us by spreading the word. Word of mouth, powerful tool. All right. All right. Well, I don't always agree with every proverb I read. This one is a little bit different, but I'm going to read it anyway. You are beautiful because of your possessions. You are beautiful because of your possessions. Now that one is an odd one to me. Sticks out like a sore thumb. And it's a Baguirmi. Baguirmi. I don't know who those people are or where they live at. Somewhere in Africa. I'd have to go look them up, because I can barely say the name. It looks like Baguirmi. Baguirmi. Okay, so you got a Baguirmi proverb today. You are beautiful because of your possessions. All right, now, let's see. I hope I marked my spot. Let me see. Now, this book that we're reading here, the significance of this book is, this book has a number of different, is important for a number of different reasons. Number one, because we don't have a lot of firsthand reports of what went down at Harpers Ferry and why. Number two, it was written by a Black man. And number three, he was the only person, Black or white, who was at Harpers Ferry, participated in the raid, and successfully escaped. That's right. He fled back to Canada because he had already escaped to Canada once and was living as a free man in Canada. Matter of fact, not only was he a free man in Canada, he was a printer, which explains why he was so erudite in his writings. Apparently, he was a word meister or an expert. What's the word? Linguist. Yes, he had a lot of expertise in the area of linguistics, particularly English. Okay, so yeah, this is where we left off. The beginning of chapter 3. The work going bravely on those commissions. John H. Kagi, A Little Cloud, Judas. I think I read that part. Maybe I might have read that part yesterday. Okay, let me see. There we go. And we read this part here about why there were no black men that John Brown had as lieutenants or leaders of the troops that were going to fight at Harpers Ferry. And he explained his perspective on that. So the next section is on a man by the name of John H. Kagi. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch to the slideshow, and I've added some new images of black men who were there at Harper's Ferry, some who had talked about going to Harper's Ferry but decided not to, like Frederick Douglass and Martin R. Delaney. Okay, but there were a number of people that were there, number of black men that participated, but there are 5 that they really talk about. And so you'll see pictures of those 5 included in our update to our slideshow. John H. Kagi is one of those people that is not depicted. Of the constellation of noble men who came to Chatham with Captain Brown, no one was greater. No one was greater in the essentials of true nobility of character and executive skill than John H. Kagi, the confidential friend and advisor of the old man and second in position in the expedition. No one was held in more deserved respect. Kagi was singularly enough a Virginian by birth and had relatives in the region of the ferry. He left home when a youth, an enemy to slavery, and brought as his gift offering to freedom 3 slaves, whom he piloted to the north. His innate hatred of the institution made him a willing exile from the state of his birth, and his great abilities, natural and acquired, entitled him to the position he held in Captain Brown's confidence. So apparently he was not one of the black folks. He was one of the white people that were involved. If you're not seeing the images in the slideshow, that's because you're looking on Facebook. If you go to YouTube, to the Tubular Black Facts channel, you'll be able to see the full presentation. Kagi was indifferent to personal appearance. He often went about with slouched hat, one leg of his pantaloons properly adjusted and the other partly tucked into his high boot top, unbrushed, unshaven, and in utter disregard of the latest style. But to his companions and acquaintances, a verification of Burns' man in the clothes. For John H. Kagi had improved his time. He discoursed elegantly and fluently, wrote ably, and could occupy the platform with greater ability than many a man known to the American people as famous in these respects. John Brown appreciated him, and to his men, his estimate of John Henry was a familiar theme. Caggie's bravery, his devotion to the cause, his deference to the commands of his leader were most nobly illustrated in his conduct at Harpers Ferry. Scarcely had the convention and other meetings and business at Chatham been concluded and most necessary work been done, both at St. Catherine's and at this point, when the startling intelligence that the plans were exposed came to hand. And that Judas Forbes, after having disclosed some of our important arrangements in the Middle States, was on his way to Washington on a similar errand. This news caused an entire change in the program for a time. The old gentleman went one way, the young men another, but ultimately to meet in Kansas in part, where the summer was spent. In the winter of that year, Captain Brown, J.H. Caggie, A.D. Stevens, C.P. Tidd, and Owen Brown went into Missouri and released a company of slaves, whom they eventually escorted to Canada, where they are now living and taking care of themselves. An incident of that slave rescue may serve to illustrate more fully the spirit pervading the old man and his boys. After leaving Missouri with the fugitives and while yet pursuing the perilous hegira, birth was given to a male child by one of the slave mothers. Dr. Doy of Kansas aided in the accouchement. Or is that accouchement? Maybe it's accouchement. It looks French. And walked 5 miles afterwards to get new milk for the boy, while the old captain named him John Brown after himself, which name he now bears. At that time, a reward from the United States government was upon the head of Brown. United States marshals were whisking about, pretendedly eager to arrest them. The weather was very cold, and dangers were upon every hand, but not one jot of comfort or attention for the tender babe and its invalid mother was abated. No thought for their valuable selves, but only how best might the poor and despised charge in their keeping be prudently but really nursed and guarded in their trial journey for liberty. Noble leader of a noble company of men. Yes, reader, whether at Harper's Ferry or paving the way thither, with such deeds as the one here told and well known West. The old hero and that company were philanthropists to the core. I do not know if the wicked scheme of Forbes may not be excused a little, solely because it afforded the occasion for the great enterprise growing out of this last visit to Kansas. But Forbes himself must nevertheless be held guilty for its inception, as only ambition to usurp power and his great love of self, peculiar to him of all connected with Captain Brown, made him dissatisfied and determined to add falsehood to his other sins against John Brown. Well, that's very interesting. Apparently he had a lot to say about this guy named Forbes, who apparently turned him in. His name is not Judas. That's what he's calling him. He's describing him as a Judas. So we'll pick up reading some more about Forbes tomorrow. Yeah, this, what do they call him again? Judas Forbes. He had another name. I didn't see his other name there. I must have read it, but I don't recall it. Reading it though. All right. And this book is really delicate. I've got to really take my time with it because it's kind of falling apart here in the middle. But at the time it was purchased, it cost $2. If you look for it today on Amazon, it's at $988 or some ridiculous price like that, primarily because of the pandemic. Before the pandemic, you might have been able to get it for $40 or $50. But since the pandemic, a lot of prices of a lot of things on Amazon have gone through the roof. In other words, there's a lot of price gouging going on Amazon at this point. Yeah, it's a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. You know what I mean? Yeah, Amazon, a true jungle. All right. But we're not going to bungle and we're not going to mumble. We certainly are not going to stumble as long as we got you paving the way, smoothing out the bumps in the road. So what we need y'all to do right now is go ahead. If you're still watching on Facebook, give us a like. If you've switched over to YouTube and you're watching on our Tubular Black Facts channel where you get to see all of the images from our slideshows, then go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And no matter what platform you're watching on or how you heard about us or whether you're watching live or a recording, please do become a sustaining member of the Black Facts family. The way you do that right now is on Facebook. If you're using your phone, click notifications and you'll see it on the drop down list there. You'll see in the notifications list a donation link. If you're looking at us on YouTube, look in the description for this live stream. You'll see a link to our website. The donation links at the top of the page. If you're looking on your laptop and you're on Facebook or YouTube, in the descriptions of both. Well, no, underneath the live stream on Facebook and then in the description on YouTube, like I just said, you'll find a link where you can make donations. So there are a number of places where you can make a donation. And if you don't want to do it over the internet, if you'd rather send a check or a money order, feel free to do that too. The address is Black Facts, BLAKFACTS. You can make the check out to Black Facts or your money order. You go ahead and send it to 437 Silver Meadows Boulevard, SILVERMEADOWS Boulevard, Kent, Ohio, 44240. Go ahead and send your donations there. We need funds better than a hog need slop. So go ahead and just let it drop. Drop it like it's hot. Because we need it now, and we need a lot, as much as possible, so that we can begin to get more of our publications out there, because we have a number of books that we've been writing over here, including one. Oh, I guess I didn't have a copy of that handy. Thought I had one handy here. But I do have these over here, including these for the children. Got a couple of children's books here, but these are also good for the adults, because the information in them is so, what's the word for it? Overwhelming, so interesting that it will interest the adults as well as the children. But with it's designed for the children because it's interactive, so we have a lot of pictures in there that the children can color. You can order those too. You can find them on eBay. And I think some of them you can find on Facebook as well. So you can look for Black Facts books on Facebook, and you can look for them on eBay. So we have a number of ways that you can support us. And needless to say, continue to watch, continue to live, continue to learn in peace with justice, because anything else less than that disgusts us. And in closing, I will just give a wave over here to Michelle and Travis. Good to see y'all. looking in. Make sure to spread the word around. Let people know what we're doing over here. And if you're looking for something that you don't see, you can always go and look on the Tubular Black Facts channel. Check out our public playlist on there. We just did a whole month of Malcolm. Check out the Malcolm X Speaks playlist. You can also check out, for the children, specifically, you can go to our to our Black Facts Junior channel. We have a Black Facts Junior channel on YouTube with nothing but our children's programs from last year. We don't have any from this year, but we do have some from last year. All right. Peace out without a doubt, y'all. We're going into our transition.